The truth is, there comes a moment in history when the signs become so loud, so undeniable, that to keep pretending we don't see them is no longer ignorance, it's a choice. And my friends, that moment is not next year. It's not next, not the tomorrow. It is today, this very day, 15th of September 25. Look around you. Look at what has been unfolding, slowly at first, and then all at once. We were warned in whispers. We were nudged with little signals. We were shown glimpses of cracks in the foundation. But now the cracks are no longer hidden. They are opening wide before us, daring us to act. And yet, how many still walk with their heads bowed, scrolling through their screens, pretending everything is normal? We see the storms not only in the sky, but in the economy, in society, in our own homes. We hear the voices of people crying out for help, and still too many are told to hush, to wait, to trust that someone else will fix it. But no one else is coming. No one else will do for us what we are unwilling to do ourselves. The warnings have been delivered through nature, through events, through the undeniable tremors of change that even the blind can feel. The earth groans, the markets shake, and the systems we once believed unshakable now tremble like leaves in the wind. These are not random coincidences. These are signals, deliberate and clear. And yet, what do most people do? They shrug, they laugh. They say if it will pass, but what if it doesn't pass? What if this is not another cycle to wait out, but a turning point? What if today marks the line between those who woke up in time and those who will wake up too late? That's why I stand here with urgency in my voice, because to me, the greatest tragedy is not that the signs are here. It's that so many are choosing not to see them. Think of history. Every great collapse, every downfall of nations, every moment when civilizations crumbled. It wasn't because there weren't warnings. It was because people ignored them. The people at the top dismissed them as noise, and the people at the bottom distracted themselves with entertainment and illusions. And then, when the day came, it was too late. Do we want to repeat that story? Do we want to be written in history as the generation that had every warning, every chance, every signal, and still walked blindly into the storm? No, my friends, that cannot be us. The signs today are louder than ever. They are screaming at us from every direction. The question is not, do you see them? The question is, will you admit that you see them? Because once you admit it, once you truly acknowledge it, you are faced with responsibility. Responsibility to act, responsibility to prepare, responsibility to awaken not only yourself but those around you. And I know responsibility is heavy. It is easier to close your eyes. It is easier to believe the illusion of safety. But illusions don't save lives, truth does. So hear me clearly, the time for excuses is over. The time for comfort is over. Today is not just another date on the calendar. Today is the line in the sand. This is the final warning. The most dangerous thought a human being can have is, I'll deal with it tomorrow. That simple sentence has destroyed more lives, more dreams, more nations than any weapon ever created. Because tomorrow is the thief of urgency, and when tomorrow comes, it rarely brings the chance we thought we'd have. My friends, today, this very day, is the moment to face the truth that waiting has already cost us too much. Every delay has allowed the cracks to widen. Every hesitation has given more ground to the forces of collapse. We say we'll prepare later, we'll speak up later, we'll change later, but later is the excuse that ensures nothing ever changes. Think about how many opportunities we've already missed. How many times did you sense something was wrong but brushed it aside? How many times did you see the news, feel the unease in your gut, but convinced yourself it wasn't the right time to act? How many times did you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow? And yet here we are, at the edge of a moment that may never come again. What do we have to show for all the tomorrows we trusted? Nothing but more uncertainty, more instability, and less time to respond. Look at the world. Economies are trembling, families are breaking under pressure, trust in leaders is at an all-time low, and yet people keep saying, let's see what happens. My friends, we already see what happens when we wait. We get blindsided. We get caught unprepared. We get swept away by the very waves we could have braced for if we had acted when the first rust ripples appeared. Waiting until tomorrow is not harmless, it's deadly. Because by the time you think the storm has arrived, it's already been raging for years, and the damage has already been done. You and I both deep down, that the signs are clear. This is not the season to delay, to bargain with time, to believe the lie that we have more of it. No one is guaranteed tomorrow. And yet the systems we live under feed us with distractions designed to make us believe we have endless tomorrows, endless chances, endless second tries. But history tells us otherwise. Empires thought they had time. Cities thought they had time. Families thought they had time. And then, in one day, everything they trusted collapsed. The cost of waiting is not only in what happens to us, it's in what happens to those we love. Think about your children, your parents, your friends. Every day we wait is another day they are left vulnerable, unprepared, and unaware. Every time we postpone action, we gamble not just with our own safety but with theirs, and that is a burden no one should carry willingly. So, what do we do instead? We act now, not when it feels convenient, not when we feel ready, not when we're pushed into a corner. We act when the signs are clear, and the signs are screaming at us today. I know fear whispers to you, telling you it's safer to wait. I know doubt speaks to you, saying maybe things will calm down on their own. But fear and doubt are liars, and their goal is to paralyze you until it's too late. One of the greatest dangers we face today is not the chaos itself, but the illusion of security that blinds us from it. People cling to routines, to comfort, to the idea that because yesterday looked a certain way, tomorrow will follow the same pattern. But life doesn't move in straight lines. History doesn't repeat as a steady rhythm. It breaks, it shatters, it turns suddenly when no one is ready. And yet, how many of us keep walking through life as if nothing can touch us, as if the world we know will remain exactly as it is? That illusion is not safety. It is a trap. Think about how easily we are lulled into that false sense of stability. We wake up, check our phones, go to work, come home, watch our shows, go to bed. Bills get paid, food appears in stores, electricity hums through the wires. It feels like things are fine, like things are normal. But beneath that surface, the cracks are spreading. Supply chains hang by a thread, economies wobble, communities fracture, and the very systems we trust to hold us together are the ones slowly unraveling. And when those systems finally snap, it won't matter how comfortable we were yesterday. Comfort does not prepare us for collapse. The illusion is powerful because it whispers, "Don't worry, everything is under control." It tells us that governments have answers, that markets will recover, that technology will save us, that someone else is working on the problems so we don't have to. But who benefits from keeping us asleep? Who gains when the masses are lulled into believing that normal will last forever? Those who profit from delay, those who thrive on our complacency, those who know that as long as we are comfortable, we will not resist, we will not prepare, we will not rise. I ask you to look deeper. Has anything truly felt secure in recent years? Or has there always been that quiet unease, that tension in the air, that sense that something is not right? That feeling is not paranoia. That is your spirit recognizing the truth. And yet the illusion pushes back, offering us distractions, entertainment, endless noise, all to keep us from listening to that inner warning. We scroll, we laugh, we numb ourselves because facing reality feels heavy. But my friends, it is far heavier to wake up too late when the illusion shatters and there is no time left to prepare. Understand this. The comfort of today can become the shock of tomorrow. The people of every fallen empire thought their walls would stand forever. The families before every great crisis thought food would always be there. The investors before every crash thought the numbers would always rise. Illusions do not protect us from reality. They blind us until reality hits harder than it needed to. And that is exactly what we are being warned about now. If there is one truth I want you to carry from this moment, it is that no one survives what is coming alone. The illusion of independence has been sold to us for years, convincing us that we can build walls around our lives, protect only our own, and somehow be safe while the world outside burns. But that is a lie. The reality is that isolation weakens us and division destroys us. The only true strength in moments like these is unity, awakening together, and standing shoulder to shoulder when the ground beneath us begins to shake. Look around at how the world has been carefully engineered to keep us apart. They divide us by polity, by class, by race, by ideology, by every line they can draw, because divided people cannot resist. Distracted people cannot focus. Suspicious people cannot trust. And so long as we remain splintered into smaller and smaller groups, we remain powerless, unable to rise against the systems that tighten their grip. But when people awaken together, when awareness spreads beyond one individual and ignites into a community, the balance shifts. Fear begins to fade because suddenly you realize you are not standing alone in the storm. You are part of something greater, a body that cannot be broken as easily as a single individual. Think of history. Every moment of transformation, every victory against overwhelming odds came not because one person stood tall, but because many did at the same time in the same spirit, refusing to bow. That same choice stands before us now, to either stay divided and asleep or to awaken and unite. And the truth is, awakening always begins with one voice, one spark, one act of courage that ripples outward until it becomes unstoppable. You may believe your voice is small, your presence insignificant, but what if you are the spark that awakens another? And what if that person awakens 10 more? Suddenly, what was once a whisper grows into a roar. That is the power of awakening together. The reason awakening matters so much today is because the systems of distraction are designed to keep us asleep forever. They want us to believe that our neighbors are enemies, that our coworkers are competitors, that our communities are hopelessly broken. But I tell you, this division is the illusion and unity is the truth. When people are reminded of what they share, when they lift each other instead of tearing each other down, when they begin to see through the lies and recognize the humanity in one another, no force of control can withstand it. The cracks in the system widen, not because of violence, but because of awareness, because of light, because of people who refuse to be fooled any longer. Awakening together is not just about resistance. It is about survival. If one person prepares, but their community does not, their preparation will eventually run dry. If one family awakens, but the neighborhood remains blind, their safety will not last. But if entire groups begin to see, if whole communities begin to awaken, then real resilience is built. Together they share strength, they share resources, they share wisdom. And together they cannot be broken as easily as the isolated individual. That is why awakening is not just a choice, it is the path forward. So I urge you now, not only to open your own eyes, but to become a voice that helps others open theirs. Speak with courage, share the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Refuse to play into division and instead build bridges where others have built walls. Because when the storm rises, the only safety will be found in those who are awake, aware, and united. This is the final warning. One person asleep is vulnerable, but a people awakened together are unstoppable. Everywhere you turn, the noise never stops. The endless stream of headlines, the constant flashing screens, the manufactured outrage, the scrolling feeds that pull you deeper and deeper into distraction. It is not an accident. It is by design. A society that is awake, alert, and paying attention is powerful, but a society lulled into sleep by distraction is easy to control. And that is exactly what has been happening to us. The system has perfected the art of keeping us entertained while the very ground beneath us is being stolen away. Think about it. How often do you catch yourself lost in the trivial, debating stories that do not matter, investing your emotions into arguments online, while real threats go unnoticed? That is the trap. When they cannot silence the truth, they bury it under mountains of noise. They don't hide the signs, they simply drown them in distractions until you no longer know what to look at, until your mind is so overstimulated that it cannot tell the difference between what matters and what doesn't. And while we are caught in the circus of distraction, decisions are made behind closed doors, systems tighten their control, freedoms slip away, and we remain too busy laughing at the show to notice the chains being locked around us. The saddest part is that we accept it. We willingly hand over our attention, we pay with our time, we sacrifice our focus for entertainment that leaves us empty. And in doing so, we are robbed of the one resource more valuable than money, more valuable than possessions. Our awareness. Awareness is what keeps us free. Awareness is what allows us to prepare. Awareness is what separates those who endure from those who fall. Yet awareness is exactly what the system is trying to steal. This is why breaking free is not just a suggestion, it is a necessity. To awaken, you must reclaim your attention. You must step back from the noise and see clearly again. Ask yourself what is real and what is distraction. What deserves my energy and what is designed only to drain me. Because every moment you give to the circus, you give away the strength you need to face reality. Every second you waste on their game, you weaken your ability to stand when it matters most. I am not telling you to reject joy, or to abandon laughter, or to never rest your mind. No, what I am telling you is to stop letting your mind be controlled by distractions that are meant to blind you. Entertainment should refresh you, not consume you. Information should sharpen you, not overwhelm you. And awareness should guide you, not be stolen from you. When you learn to guard your attention, when you learn to say no to the noise, you begin to break free from the cage they have built around your mind. And here is the most powerful truth of all. Once you see the pattern of distraction, you cannot unsee it. Once you recognize how carefully your focus is being manipulated, you begin to spot the tricks everywhere. You start to notice when stories are inflated to keep you busy, when division is magnified to keep you fighting, when crises are manufactured to keep you afraid. And the moment you recognize the trick, it loses its power. That is the beginning of true freedom. The freedom to see, the freedom to think, the freedom to act with clarity. So I ask you here and now to reclaim your mind, to stop letting them feed you endless noise, to silence the circus long enough to hear your own thoughts, to pay attention to the signs that truly matter, and to awaken while there is still time.